This is a love letter. Hello, extended Hive family. It is time. In May 2019, I am transitioning away from my role as director of Hive. I began my relationship with this organization in 2008 when it was called BAPAC, the Bay Area Perinatal Aid Center, and I was a volunteer on the Gala Event Planning Committee. In 2011, Dr. Deb Cohen, the medical director of Hive, or BAPAC at the time, hired me in a coordinator role at 1 day a week. And it was in 2012 with the seed funding from Macy's Foundation for our Pro Men initiative, Positive Reproductive Outcomes for HIV Positive Men, that my mad and wild love affair with this work really flourished. It was during that period of hosting focus groups and getting feedback from patients on what materials they wanted created, and working with residents and interns and providers to create those materials, developing scripts for professionally filmed videos, and working to integrate reproductive health into Ward 86 clinic with my dear colleague Guy Vandenberg, that I really dedicated so much of my life to this work. It was during that time my kids were also in elementary school, and so they came along with me for evening and weekend work. And because of this, you and this work is a permanent part of their childhood and their growing up experience, for which I am deeply grateful. In 2014, I started working 2 days a week in a director role. And in the spring of 2015, coinciding with National Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, we rebranded from BAPAC, or the Bay Area Perinatal Aid Center, to Hive, to better encapsulate the breadth and depth of work that we were doing. Along with this rebrand, we launched our own website. A flurry of activity since this rebrand in 2015 feels both like an entire lifetime and a long week all at once. And I think this is perfect. As I reflect back on this period of my life and Hive's development, I am grateful for many things. I want to share a few of them with you, and it's not an exhaustive list, but it simply highlights what I'm cherishing as I reflect back on this period. All the work that we have done together. I am so grateful for the Hive staff. I feel lucky to have been a part of this group as the clinic and program teams expanded. Each team member is uniquely extraordinary. Each person brings a different skill set and perspective, with this common thread of an unparalleled commitment to high quality care, forward motion, and justice. I am grateful that Hive is thriving. We have developed strong local, national, and global relationships. We have partnerships with advocacy organizations. Our relationships with government entities, guidelines committees, and provider associations is strong. Our work is respected, and our work matters. I'm grateful for Hive's finances and infrastructure stability. While there's never enough money to do all the work we want to do, and while many people on the team work well beyond the FTE for which they're paid, we have grown. We have a reserve that provides a buffer for us in times of emergency, and our budget and contracts have gone from $100,000 a year to over $500,000 a year with a diversity of funders. We've received our first multi-year grant. We now have our fiscal management embedded in the Department of Obstetrician, OBGYN at Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital. And because we're a multidisciplinary team, we remain strong relationships with family and community medicine and the Division of HIV, ID, and Global Medicine. We have a new partnership with Solid Start based at Zuckerberg San Francisco General, which is flourishing. And we have strong relationships with San Francisco General Hospital Foundation and San Francisco Public Health Foundation. I am grateful for how strong Hive contributes. We have created a massive amount of useful and usable materials. I could not be more proud, particularly as we start to archive old material from 4 years ago that is no longer relevant because new and better material has been created. All of this creation has been an evolution, and it's never complete, always unfolding. It's been a massively prolific and creative period from which the public discourse has been forever altered. The Hive platform is strong, it's trusted, it's thriving. Hive is known for delivering on commitments and doing so in a uniquely Hive way. We've bootstrapped success with a buzz of activity. I'm also grateful to know that the future awaits. The time is ripe and Hive is ready. Now is the time to ask more and different questions. I believe that this is the privilege and the responsibility of what comes from growing and developing to this point. So now's the time for new leadership. What's Hive's unique position in racial equity work? What is Hive's advocacy role? In a landscape of shifting priorities, what will stakeholder relationships look like and which ones will Hive focus on? What are the structure, should the structural focus be on roots or expansion? And what are Hive staffing needs and what might that staffing model look like? Here is what I know. Hive matters, Hive is trusted, and Hive craves new leadership for this phase. People with an understanding of the trends in clinical care and in the online space, people who are committed to actionable steps towards racial equity, and people with an organized approach to tending to Hive's long-term relationships with staff, patients, community, partners, and funders. My decision to transition from Hive now is specific and intentional. Hive is ready. I believe Hive's next phase will most fully develop as I step back and create space for that next gorgeous thing to emerge. I remain endlessly devoted to you. I will treasure the many conversations and stories that we've shared about changes you've made in your practice, ways you've talked with your partner, how you've been able to build your family. I will never truly leave Hive, and Hive will never truly leave me, because we are Hive and we make this story together. Like any dynamic and edgy relationship, we remain a part of each other. This transition space allows us to reimagine what is and what will be, with so much gratitude for what has been, and in anticipation of what will be. I remain ever yours.